Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side.
Hello. Sorry. Welcome back to now the lower bracket of CGL as we continue to get more and more scuffed. The light that I was using has died. It's not a light. It is technically a it's like something for like film where you can whatever. So I have my phone pointed at me, which is making the problem of the green screen filter I'm using is now locking onto the shadow it's creating on the wall. So that's what's gonna happen. Don't worry about the shadow me behind me. It's fine. We've also lost everything of the overlay except for your name,
My name.
except for Rain. And that's okay. Because when we get into the game, we've been assured that it'll be okay. That we'll have we'll have it. We'll have the team names. So don't you worry, don't you fret. We've got some more wonderful goats action for you. We're gonna be going to now. We're gonna be going to we're gonna
It's
be
a lower
going
bracket.
to
It's a lower bracket.
Round 2. We're gonna be doing Boop Troop against it's Boop Troop versus Goat Milk. Again, we're seeing both these teams are fighting for the tournament lives here. Very important and very, very suspicious. And very, very important. And pay no attention to the giant shadow of my microphone on my neck.
Nothing to
okay.
see. Nothing to see here. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, we're heading down to this lower bracket, so this is going to be the last match for one of these teams, right? We've gotten to kind of follow Goat Milk all through their little run here in the playoffs to at least on the stream here. So this is it. If they want to try and fight back and get a little bit of maybe, revenge on Citrus Nation for sending them down here, they're going to have to first win this one. Then they're going to have to fight through the round 3, fight through the round 4. It's a long way to go through this lower bracket. And taking on Boop Troop here, which again, pretty good team, right? You got a lot of good players on the side of Boop Troop. They also went 5-0 in that round robin. Now, of course, Boop Troop did get knocked down here in that first round, but getting a win over Team Floppa means that Boop Troop looking to kind of continue their momentum through this lower bracket, trying to find a win on to Goat Milk.
Yeah, and it's very important for these teams to continue onward. And that's the problem with getting knocked out of the lower bracket, is it also gives you a longer path forward, as you have to now fight through whatever is left of the lower bracket and then whatever gets sent down from the upper bracket. You have a lot longer of a road, you have a lot tougher of a path as well, because you have lost that protection. You are now in the fight of your tournament life, and it is still first to two.
Yeah.
So you are still in a very knife's edge position, and the knife's edge is only getting thinner and thinner as these teams go on. So for Boop Troop and for Goat Milk, you have to be perfect. For Goat Milk, you have to see that improvement on control. If there's one consistent we've seen from them, it has been a distinct struggle on control maps. They did incredible in their round 1 match, and they did pretty solid in the round 2 match on hybrid. Did pretty well in escort, or not an escort, on assault. But it's control that has consistently so far been the thorn in their side, and they've got one chance to turn it around, and it's going to be on Busan. And I'm interested to see, talking about Busan, is there an option for floats?
I fear we're being lied to by the background. So round 3 is gonna be Oasis for
Round 3?
Yeah. So we're moving over on to round 3 here in this the lower bracket, I believe. I think that's what Prada's telling me.
Oops.
But regardless, it's still gonna be the same problem like you just mentioned, where Goat Milk haven't been able to win on control, and in the first 2, you don't have all that room to kind of work with. Yes, they managed to turn it around in the first round, but I mean, making it a 3rd control map loss would be really, really tough, not just for kind of like your match score, but I feel like for your mentals, that's gotta grade a little bit as well. Not being able to pick up a win on the first map, always starting out on a loss, it can be a little frustrating.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why it has to be so important for these teams to really get in. It has to be important. You can't overstate the importance of Goat Milk keeping this control map, if not in a win, tighter. Especially when you're talking that first to 2. In a first to 3, you can overcome it. In a first to 2, you can still overcome it, but it's hard. It's tough. And we see now Boop Troop loading into the game. We've got that traditional Goats composition, keeping the Zen online. And it's what you expect from this composition, from this tournament. And we'll just have to see if Goat Milk is a little bit cleaner when it comes to their execution, when it comes to their rotations. And we'll have to see, because their lives are on the line.
Yep, this is it. One of these teams is going home. One of them is going to be able to at least move to the next spot in that lower bracket. We are seeing both teams pat towards this jump pad. Ooh, the boot comes through. Doesn't quite connect, though. That Diva's going to be able to get back up.
Oh my gosh, I was gripping the counter there for a second. That was close. Almost a disaster immediately, as now Solo Zen for the side of Goat Milk jumps up on top, trying to keep this Diva zoned off that high ground, as people are just kind of playing with it now. Good bubble to keep Gap alive, as Consta really playing some heads up Overwatch right now, as Goat Milk, even Red X calls out, "You're so lucky." Me and the rest of Goat Milk are going to take this early on. Good pick on the Zarya to end it.
Yeah, I think having Solo Zen kind of get set up on that high ground really, really nice for Goat Milk, because yes, Boop Troop needs to kind of commit Chan to go up and put pressure onto that, and losing your Diva in that fight, even if it's just to go off on kind of another angle, it can be just really, really tricky. So keeping that Discord on to the Diva allows Goat Milk to just burn that mech down, get the first percentage building here, and have gone ahead and built up a whole bunch of ultimates. Boop Troop stayed alive in the fight. No! What a boop!
Oh no! The Diva bomb going off on the side. Okay. And Tropic Gem gets hit by a car. Okay. You know, it's goats. Goat Milk is going to be still riding along and keeping their percentage climbing. But, I mean, you have to look at this and wonder, what's going on? What's going on, guys? This is being a little crazy.
Yeah, Boop Troop need to kind of find their way in. Okay, you find the opening here. You have the ults to work with, but what a response, Eevee. Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful shutdown there, just trapping Gap in just a cycle of getting hit by the CC.
Yeah. Oh,
Old
yeah.
Overwatch 1 tank moment.
It really is. You think that you might be able to escape it a little bit with goats, where you just kind of have the shatter and then the brig stun, but it's about the timing, right? So being able to chain those together is just so important here. And now Graviton Surge ready to go here from Leo, which Goat's Milk so far they've been doing good, going first in these fights.
Yeah, they really have, and they've been building up a really solid lead, 82%. They got one last fight left, and the Diva Bomb still on the table. But it is as well for Chan, with Consta having that grab on the table as well. Ronan, though, going to get demexed, not even going to need to use that self-destruct to try and remech. It's just going to be a stagger until 99, and then that'll be it. As it'll be Boop Troop reclaiming the point, but 99% means Goat Milk just needs one good fight.
Yeah, and they have been doing a really good job going back to kind of their roots, finding these decisive fight wins here, right? Not letting these fights drag out too long. You're finding the opening pick, you're following through on it, and walking forward, taking the space here. You have this grab and this bomb from the side of Boop Troop to try and slow down some of this momentum here for Goat Milk. I'd really love to see Boop Troop kind of take a page out of the book of Goat Milk, go first in the fight.
Yeah, and Boop Troop is doing exactly that, landing an early pick. Neptune actually going to be gonna go down. I don't know if that bomb actually canceled out the sound barrier, but it was an impressive bomb nonetheless. And it means Goat Milk just don't really have an aggressive way to do it, as the bomb goes in over the top. Just a bit too high, shatter over the top right into the shield of Gap. Eevee's gonna get taken down. Leo would find one pick, but well, Leo finding two, now an opportunity to turn this around, as Boop Troop might have just lost a little bit of consistency there as the shatter goes through to really seal the deal. Boop Troop will keep this fight going. Now looking at one and a little bit of fight.
Great punish there from Boop Troop onto Eevee. She found herself a little bit too far forward, didn't have the support from the rest of her team, especially when you're running, you have the Brig, you have the Lucio, you really need those aura heals to be kind of focused on your tank. So great read from Boop Troop, winning one more fight, but now Goat Milk coming back into this strong, gonna have the bomb, gonna have the trance, and we're not actually gonna see the bomb connect on to anything from Chan.
Yeah, the bomb just goes a bit far, as Ronan is now picked up 2 picks for Goat Milk, throwing the bomb in over the top to try and stop any retreats, and it'll land onto Consta. A huge pick. Overtime going to start burning down for Goat Milk, and that'll be a shutdown round one, going to Goat Milk. This is exactly what we want to see, and you want to see more of that consistency, and Goat Milk being able to rotate, but the pressure's not being put on as much as I'd like by Boop Troop. They haven't been playing as tight of goats as I would have liked to see, as we've seen from these top teams in the upper bracket, like in that round 2 when Goat Milk went down. Goats is a matter of macro and a matter of the small things. It seems like Boop Troop might be falling a little short in terms of that Zarya bubble, as we lose everything again.
Don't worry, everybody. All right, here we go. Just like that, we're gonna go back into things here. But I think that's a great call out, Gaming. Boop Troop is doing a great job sometimes finding these punishes, but if Goat Milk doesn't make a mistake, Boop Troop doesn't find the value.
That they do, and Gap's gonna get taken down early. There's not enough healing there, and Ronan is just free to rain down destruction on everything, and it's just going to be a cleanup, and Goat Milk will take it.
All right, yeah, gonna build percentage first here over on Gardens. We're gonna be able to build up to that Diva Bomb and the rally from Icy Sniper. Boop Troop, unfortunately, not able to do kind of enough damage or healing in that fight. When the fight ends so quickly like that from the side of Goat Milk, it means that Boop Troop are looking at trying to play into the next fight to build up some of these ults.
That they're going to be, but they're going to be going into a rally from Icy Sniper and a bunch of ults from Goat Milk. As well, Gap's gonna be the first to fall, and Eevee finds herself pushed off the side of the map. I don't know if Reinhardt had that steadfast passive in the GOATs era as Flores and Consta get taken down. It's just a small change, but these Reinhardt players, they live off those small changes.
Yeah, and another good point that you kind of mentioned earlier in one of our I think it was maybe our round 1 match, is that Reinhardt cannot cancel charge in this. So once you're committed, you can get booped just a little bit, and you are committed to just charging straight off a cliff here. So good job from Goat Milk, kind of stabilizing here. But now Boop Troop, they got that one fight, the second kind of dry fight. They got some ult to work with. You just got to navigate these opening ultimates from Goat Milk.
Bomb over the top from Ronin, great zoning from Goat Milk, pushing them into the side. As now Boop Troop pushing through. Radix going to be the first to fall, though Goat Milk doesn't seem very interested in pursuing this team very far. They're fine to sit on point and let this team come to them, push through the choke points, and not need to play aggressive. They got one fight left. Now with the Shatter waiting online for Goat Milk and a Transcendence. It's going to be the early rally from Tropic Gem. Bomb into the back from Chan. No kills on the kill feed with that, but the Shatter is going to land onto 2 supports of Boop Troop. But the rally armor is going to keep them safe and alive. Shatter in over the top. It's the Transcendence. Both Ryan's going to get knocked down to the ground. Neither really actually in a point as Icy Sniper solos and finally finding those picks. And Goat Milk able to bring it in and shut down, and that is a 200-0. That's what we wanted to see from Goat Milk, and they're rolling through, looking to book their ticket to Sunday.
All right, they have locked in on control. They will not lose a third time here on this map type in the playoffs. And great bounce back. Goat Milk, I think, really did do a good job of kind of, when they were in control of the point, when they were in control of the fight, really taking it on their terms, making Boop Troop react. And that just meant that if you didn't get the right reaction, it just takes one little kind of second for things to all kind of fall apart there for Boop Troop. So great job from Goat Milk putting themselves up here. This does mean that for the first time in the playoffs, they won't have the second map pick though. So is it a guarantee that we'll go to King's Row? Well, it's up to Boop Troop to decide.
I'm really hoping the Boop Troop does bring us to King's Row. As much as I do love King's Row, as much as I do even just in general Overwatch gameplay, I love King's Row. I love the, I don't know, I'm one of those like rush enjoying Andersons that just I see Lucio and Brawl Tank being played, and the little monkey brain goes and it's great. It's fantastic. But I think in GOATs especially, I don't know, I made the point of like, why are you not playing King's Row in a GOATs tournament? Like, it's definitely a bit of a nuclear option, it feels to me, to go a map like Numbani, to go a map like any other, you know, Blizzard World as well. Less so, but Numbani especially point A on Numbani, that high ground, you can run Ryan Goats into it. Goodness knows, when I played amateur leagues in a, you know, with my gold team, we sure did run Reinhardt because it was the only thing we knew how to do. But optimal play is you play some sort of dive, you play some sort of floats like Winston composition, that kind of almost double bubble composition that was pretty popular in late Overwatch 2. But in general, it's difficult. And also, it's GOATs, man. Why are you gonna play Winston out here pulling out Numbani?
Yeah, right? This is it. This is it. We are going to Numbani. First hybrid map on your dream here that's not the classic King's Row. And I have to admit, I'm a little bit surprised because I did go ahead. I was like, okay, well, let's see. Boop Troop did lose 2-0 in that first round. So, okay, where did they go for map number 2? And they did go over to King's Row. So, didn't find the win there. Maybe they've been, you know, aware that Goat Milk has really been pushing for the King's Row as well. So, maybe you want to swap things up entirely and kind of move over onto this this hybrid map where you are going to have, you know, a little bit more of a chance to play that Winston, which I think could be kind of fun here because you really did just kind of get demolished on the Reinhardt mirror in your goats. So maybe if you're Boop Troop, you want to shake things up, force that Winston and try just something a little bit different. Of course, we don't have a whole lot of swaps to work with in goats here, but the swap from the Winston to the Reinhardt, it's a pretty big, or from the Reinhardt to the Winston is a pretty big change up.
Yeah, you can also see the Ana swap, which is generally going to be pretty good. It gets you more long-range healing, and it gets you more burst healing. It also just gets you healing that's not the Brig armor pack, because generally, why goats work so well is besides Zenyatta, who his healing is, he heals, you know, sure. But his healing is offset by that damage. Everything else is just an aura around you. Brig's aura, pretty big, but it is line of sight based. Any line of sight that you get behind, you're in trouble. So having that ability to shoot your Winston while they're in the dive, very helpful. Shoot your Diva while they're in the dive, but all these players, all these teams, they're real ones for that, for playing the Reinhardt. At least Boop Troop is going to be playing the Reinhardt.
To see, yeah, we'll have to see what's gonna happen here. I mean, of course, the attacking team here still does have the option to maybe swap, but I mean, we can see that they're just standing at the door waiting for things to open. I expect that we are going to have this Rhine mirror, same goats, no Ana to be seen here. So this is going to be interesting because at least you are going to have a little bit more kind of difference in the pathing here where, you know, at King's Row, you just kind of force your way onto the point. At least with Nimbani, you got to work with the high ground a little bit before you can make your way down there.
That you do, and Gap's going to be immediately burst down. Solo Zen gets taken out. And it's Consta down first, so Leo's the only Zarya on the field, building up that charge, and it's going to be a great stand there from Goat Milk. Taking an early fight pretty convincingly, only lose an Icy Sniper and a couple.
And we can see a little bit of space being given here for Goat Milk so they can get everybody back into that. That does mean, of course, that we're going to see Boop Troop have an opportunity to push onto the point and where you already have this Transcendence ready to go for fire. Boop Troop is totally fine to take an aggressive fight here because you have that big source of healing for when things get rough.
That they do, but they've lost Solo Zen already. Eevee, well, they have lost Solo Zen already. Gap going to find a big pick onto Eevee, and it's just going to be a big swing and a big hit for Boop Troop pushing forward, as we've not seen Boop Troop struggle on the hybrid points like this, but it seems like they're on the back foot. The Nimbani pick might be staggering.
Right? Yeah, Boop Troop maybe onto something here with trying to stay alive in this. Again, first to 2 here, so Boop Troop need to win on this Nimbani pick to stay alive in this fight. We do have a little bit of progress being gained on the cart here, but we can see just how fast Goat Milk come back into this fight.
And that's that Lucio speed boost as Neptune going to find that first pick as both beats go off and go through. Rally providing armor, especially onto Goat Milk, and they're going to be free to soar through as the Lucios spar like anime protagonists.
Neptune not concerned at all. Actually, a grab up on the high ground, maybe trying to punish this over-aggression, but actually, this is actually Goat Milk on the high ground.
Yeah, it's Goat Milk's grab. It's a fantastic spot for them to be, but they don't get the clean fight they wanted, and the bomb just lands on the high ground when there's no one there. So it does clear off the high ground, but there wasn't anyone to clear.
Nope, here we go. We are gonna have Boop Troop kind of walking forward here. Forces the Transcendence out of Solo Zen. Ronan actually did lose the mech there as well. So we're gonna have Boop Troop in a pretty good position here to just keep pushing this payload forward. We're gonna use the ults to make even more space.
It's going to take out Ronan before the remech is able to come through. Gap in some trouble. Consta getting 2 picks for Goat Milk and finally getting this cart rolling for the attacking team.
Yeah, just everyone, we're still sorting out some small technical difficulties, so Goat Milk is gonna be on your left side here. Ooh. There we go, all sorted out, but
Whoops.
This, now we have the mob making a reappearance, but Boop Troop pushing forward, gets that second point cap. K-Wake, they have 4.5 minutes rolling into this third point of Nimbani. They just haven't been slowed down.
Yeah, and this third point, though, is a pretty difficult one as the Shatter goes through. A great eat for Ronan onto Consta's Grav, but you need a little more than that. You need a really successful aggressive ult there for yourself before you burn everything else down. Gap going to get taken down by Icy Sniper as Goat Milk pushes forward, looking to get this pick onto Consta. A great focus fire will take down the Zarya, and that's really all you need. Take out the Ryan, take out the Zarya, the fight's over.
Yep, just back up a little bit, give some space here. Nice pathing though, Boop Troop looking to push up onto the high ground. This is gonna force Goat Milk to kind of back up, respect this, because you don't know necessarily is Boop Troop gonna just drop down from here. Okay, well you are gonna actually get a big boop there onto Gap, and that means everybody from Boop Troop forced to just fight on this point.
And there goes the grab out from Leo, and Gap and Chan in trouble. It's gonna be Leo and Ronan just bursting down, and it's a textbook Goats fight, as now you're going to get a textbook Diva stacker.
Yeah,
almost tried to boop her off there.
Ooh, almost got it, but it is going to be the reset coming through for Chan. A good little minute there, burned off the clock for Goat Milk on this defense, and not too expensive either, right? You just use that Graviton Surge, you still have lots to work with. This point, this area of the point in particular, really nice for these Diva bombs, because you can split the attacking team so easily. It'll be very telegraphed where they're going, but I like this from Boop Troop, trying to get a little bit of a pinch here on a Goat Milk.
Yeah, it's going to be an early rally onto Goat Milk. Shatter's going to land onto 2 and just completely shut down all of Gap's support. Fire can push forward, and it's just Boop Troop getting shut down. Diva Bomb into the back to take out Constant in the end, and that's Boop Troop now under 3 minutes. Their giant time bank now reduced to about 2.5.
Yeah, Goat Milk have really dug their heels in on this third point. Makes a lot of sense. This point is going to be a little bit more favored towards Brawl in general. Save for Goat's going to be very hard to kind of walk through this third point unless Boop Troop is able to really put together a massive combo. You have the bomb to work with, but don't have anything to work with in tandem, so you're just going to chuck it in.
Yeah, and then Chan and Red X, so vulnerable, are going to get taken down. Ronan will get demacked, and it's just the same story. They just couldn't put it together, and I don't know. It's a bit of a new age Goats where you're not seeing as much emphasis on the ult combos.
And that's where it's really kind of fallen apart here. You know, Goats it's played a very specific way. You really need to kind of find the value of those combos because there's so much HP, there's so much sustain that if you want to win a fight outright, you need to make big commitments here. You do have the grab and the shatter for Boop Troop to work with. Just the grab on the side of Goat Milk, but you are going to have the Transcendence coming online as well.
Rally out from Tropic. It's going to be a great grab eat from Ronan. Ronan's really coming in to their own when it comes to this great fire strike out of Eevee, but great Diva play to shut down Consta's ability to use that grab. And it comes so frequently, but just the ability that Ronan has shown on this Diva is impressive.
Yeah, it is hard to eat a Graviton Surge in the best of times, but in Goats where there's so much visual clutter, being able to kind of get a read on that is massive. And in these long sustained fights, taking Grav out with just a cooldown, that's massive.
Consta's actually going to be the first to fall. I thought Ronan was feeding there a little bit, but somehow still the support was there to back them up, and Ronan and Eevee just cleave through the rest of the team. It's going to be a stagger onto the diva, or is it actually? They might have to leave this diva alone. Nope, a great stagger from Ronan. Just knowing exactly the thin line to walk between feasting and feeding.
That's so true. We saw Goat Milk push up really, really far there, but you're able to kind of stay alive through it. You don't get punished, which I think is what really kind of was missteps for Goat Milk against Citrus Nation, is that they were mistakes and their overcommits were really getting punished here, but Goat Milk playing a lot safer and really, really making value here.
Constant getting taken down through the Transcendence healing is fantastic focus fire as they brush through. Icy Sniper takes it in, and even the rally cannot save them. It's going to be 27.34 meters will be the flag in the dirt, will be the line in the sand. As the staggers go through, it needs to be something big here, as actually the Brig is in a little bit of trouble. Bomb goes in over the top to shut it down. Ronan takes it, as now the Lucio next in on the point to stall, and there's 27.34 meters as we finish off round 1.
It felt like Boop Troop really kind of just rolled, a little bit of a stall on the first point, and then all the way just walked through second point. I don't know that Goat Milk even really got a fight on second point, but as soon as you end up in a choke point that doesn't have a whole lot of other ways to get in, that is when Goat Milk really found how to play goats. So unfortunately for the side of Boop Troop, this does mean that you have a pretty clear victory here for the side of Goat Milk. Don't have to finish the map. You just got to get to that 27.34 meters after second point. So we'll have to see how a Boop Troop are going to adapt here. Of course, you can't change your composition, so you really just have to be kind of looking at play style. And I think that so far, it feels like Boop Troop have been on the back foot in a lot of these fights. Goat Milk definitely looking to take these fights on their terms, finding the kind of maybe more combos, not just in the ultimates, but also in the timing, right? We're seeing the bash come through with the shatter. We're finding a lot of value from Ronan on this diva. So Boop Troop just need to kind of pull their synergy together a little bit more, because just having kind of 6 bodies on the point isn't going to be enough to win in Goat's composition.
No, it really isn't. But the important part has to be what you were talking about with alt combos, because that was the thing, not even just in Goats. Goats it was especially because of how quick those ults come up, but it was in Overwatch 1 when you had 6 tanks, when you had 6 players, when you had so much on the field. You had the ability to do, your grab self-destructs, those big ultimates, and I haven't seen as many of that so far. They haven't been as successful. As Solo Zen charging up to ult already, I can see that Lucio trying to move in for a big boop, does throw people off of the high ground. No kills, but a really big play there as Red X and Fire just completely thrown off. And Goat Milk, a great play by Neptune to shut down this entire defense, and Goat Milk are going to be rolling with 5.5 minutes on the clock unless we get some stall. Well, we almost got some stall, but Red X exploded in like 5 seconds.
Ooh, this is what I'm expecting to see from Goat Milk on a hybrid map. So far, they have been able to just kind of walk their way in. Bonnie, 5.5 minutes on this second point. Now, crucially though, Boop Troop is going to be able to get a nice early fight here. You have some ults to work with. You need to try and find a win here.
Well, you lost Gap, and you just didn't have the sustain through that. The bubble went out, and it was just completely lights out for Gap. And I mean, they saw the opening. That was what Goat Milk did. They saw a really good opening, and now a fantastic stagger on this diva. I mean, just brutal.
Oh, poor Chan. Yep. That's the reality of playing diva and Goats, unfortunately, is that you are gonna get staggered out for sure. As we do have, Boop Troop getting everybody back together, which means that Goat Milk gonna have a whole lot of free carp progress here. We can see Leo hiding on the high ground, has this graph ready to go. Ronan has the bomb as well. Hasn't been spotted out yet either.
This is surprising as the stun goes through onto the diva, and a huge, massive self-destruct over the top, lands onto 2. Ronan finds the combo that we've been looking for all night. That's that classic combo. And now you're in trouble if you're Boop Troop. 27 meters, and they're just trying to stagger in. 5.5 minutes still on the clock.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Boop Troop needs to pull something together here. Those 3 tank ultimates that are online or almost online are going to be the difference maker here. But we can see that to match those 3 tank ultimates from Boop Troop, Goat Milk has 3 support ults ready to go.
And the shatter just goes right into a shield, stunned up, and then goes Tropic Gem is going to get taken down, and it's a 3-person bomb. Chan just lands a Hail Mary. Perfect. I mean, there's nothing you could say, but that's what they needed. They needed perfect in that moment, and they got it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this, I gotta mention this, right? This is a great little spot for these diva bombs, especially in these Goats compositions where you can really split people very, very quickly. You know that the Reinhardt is gonna most likely turn around, try to get that diva bomb, so it just opens up this small little opportunity, and if your team can react fast enough, you can really, really capitalize on it. Ronan, trying to get a little bit of an angle here, is actually gonna be able to get away with it.
Trying to get on the backline into Zenyatta, but that's the knife's edge between feast and feed there, and that's exactly what we saw. It was a little bit too much feed. 3 meters left. One fight, one misstep out of Boop Troop is just going to cost them immensely. Leo does go down, so Goat Milk doesn't have their big driver of damage, so that's just, there's nothing they can do there. And Ronan's still trying this cheeky angle here, but not really getting the success. High ground's important, but not that important.
Yeah, especially into Goats, right? This is about a death ball composition. You know, you can try and find a little bit of an angle, but Goats is just going to walk on everybody that is not on that angle. That's kind of the point, right? You're just going to steamroll ahead. If you have the numbers advantage, you're good to go here. So we do have Boop Troop holding on by a thread. So small of a distance for Goat Milk to push forward, though.
Consti gets knocked out of LOS and just taken down, and now it's a perfect opportunity for Goat Milk to just roll through. Tropic Gem lands onto Neptune, though Eevee, Leo, and Ronan, it's almost now for it to just roll through. Fire uses the Transcendence to just buy a little bit more time, but that might not be enough as it rolls through, hits the golden box of victory, and that's Goat Milk booking their ticket to Sunday, and that is Boop Troop exiting in round 3.
Yeah, unfortunately for Boop Troop, that is going to be the end of things here for them. Nice little fight through that round 1 of the lower bracket, but meeting their match here in Goat Milk, and Goat Milk doing a great job kind of finding really the pace of this Goats composition that you needed. You know, you got stalled a little bit there towards the end, but once we saw those kind of combos come through, you find them really capitalizing on any space that was given by Boop Troop, and that is just going to seal the deal here for the side of Goat Milk, so they have an opportunity to stay alive in this tournament.
That they do, and that's what's really important, is they need so desperately to... they need so desperately to stay. They needed that. They needed that turnaround. As not just like, oh, if they did not win, they would not go on in the tournament, but just also when it comes to the loss that they took in that moment. That was a rough one, where you had Kings Road just taken away from you by an inch. Those close games, you needed a turnaround. You needed a boost to go into Sunday, to go into tomorrow with, to keep your heads held high, and being able to show that not only are you a good Goats team, but you can beat a lot of these good teams in the tournament like Boop Troop, that you can do that. That's exactly what they needed, and they got it in perfect timing to move them on into Sunday. We've now got, Rain, 4 teams left, and we've got, I think it's 3 games remaining. That's not true. 4 games remaining, as we've got upper bracket finals, lower bracket semis, lower bracket finals, and then grands left to go. It's going to be Shikigami going up against Goat Milk. It was Hamong getting knocked out in round 1. Citrus Nation booking their way into Sunday, facing off against Not Collegiate in the winners finals. And if Citrus Nation loses and Goat Milk wins, we will see a revenge of the winners round 2. But if not, Citrus Nation will book themselves to the grand finals, and Goat Milk's gonna have to run their way through the gauntlet to face off. 4 teams remain, and we're gonna have that all for you tomorrow as NA continues. We've also got the last 4 games of EU coming at you tomorrow, so don't you worry about that. But if you're interested in that, make sure that you're subscribed and you got that notifications on so you get the notifications, especially if, like tonight, we should happen to have some stream difficulties and a reset of the stream. You can see when we go back online if we should have to reset the stream, which hopefully we won't have to. But again, a big thank you to you for joining us, and also a big thank you to Thor, our wonderful producer, for working so desperately hard on working through these unfortunate little mishaps and missteps in the program itself, working incredibly hard. I've been scrolling through all of the really complicated programming error codes that are being showing up in the live chat. It's scary. There's so much that's happening. I don't understand it. I'm just paid to shout at the screen. But thank you all for joining us, and thank you so much for having a good time with me. Thank you for joining me, Rain. And that's gonna be it for us for tonight. We're gonna be back tomorrow with new casters with EU and then NA at the same time as we were here for you tonight. So if you're here tonight, same time tomorrow, we'll see you then. Have a good night, and hopefully you won't have as much technical difficulties as we had. Bye.